Hey, this is you where you see yourself like constantly running out of time, where you can't seem to find a time in the day to actually work on your activities that gets you closer to your goals. Well, guess what? You found the right video. Hey, Daniel, cue in that intro, please. Hey guys, so I promise this YouTube video won't be a slideshow because normally you're used to seeing my face, whether I'm speaking in front of a desk or speaking in front of a crowd. But I just want to do this one a little bit differently because I want to show you some visuals, okay? Because I've been having people leave a lot of comments about time management, right? And it's not so much time management, but it's really about how you think about time and how you schedule accordingly. Okay. But hey, by the way, if you guys are new, welcome to the YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, we typically focus on three major things, which is personal finance. So we talk about budgeting. We also talk about credit repair, and things that relate to your personal lifestyle, such as this video about time and so forth. We also love to discuss things about funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital for you real estate investors out there. And last and certainly not least, we always love to discuss real estate investing, whether it's multi-units or multi-family properties. And again, if you're new and if you like this video, please like and subscribe so that way Google, the algorithm, YouTube can do its thing and provide you with additional videos to help you get closer to your goals. Without further ado, let's dive into the topic. So I'm gonna break this down to three things, right? On how to carve out the time in the best way possible so you can accomplish your goals. Because with my audience, most of them are real estate investors, or they aspire to be. And they have a 9-to-5 job, and they have other obligations. They have family, they have friends, they have errands to run, they have health and fitness, they have their place of worship, their faith. They have so many different categories of life, so many different arenas of life, to the point now that they want to become financially free and acquire a huge portfolio, a multifamily portfolio, they just can't seem to find the time. And they always feel like they're running out of time. They feel like they're always making haste. And you know what they say, haste makes waste. So let's get into the three things I want to show today in this YouTube video. Okay. And again, I'm just doing showing you these little PowerPoint slides. That was a cool image, but let's dive into it. So first thing, here's my calendar. So you can see here on my calendar, I have a lot of things time blocked. Okay. But I always want to schedule the most important things first thing in the morning. So I just want to give you a visual of my calendar, but let's get into the topic first. So first thing you want to always entertain is this. The 80-20 principle is also known as the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule or Pareto's law. It has many different names, but in essence, Pareto is the guy who discovered it. And he discovered it by surveying or observing that 20% of the land owners in Italy owned 80% of the land. So I'll repeat that. 20% of the people who own land in Italy owned 80% of the land. But the reverse is true too, where 80% of the landowners in Italy owned only 20%. In other words, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time, right? You probably wore your main pair of shoes, or it just depends, based upon your style preference. I know sometimes ladies can be a tad bit more versatile, and they like to switch things up and be dynamic with their dress. I know sometimes guys can be a little bit boring, wearing the same shoes, same jacket, same pants, many times, maybe every week or what have you. But that's how it is. But let's break it down further. Even the phone calls. 20% of the contacts in your phone, you call them 80% of the time. Whereas 80% of the contacts in your phone, you probably call those people 20% of the time. Okay. That's the 80-20 principle. Now, how does that relate to your time? Well, the same is true too. 20% of your activities will produce 80% of the results you're looking for. Okay. So this is what I want to show you here, some Google images, so you can see multiple different things that relate to what I'm saying here. So you see here, 20% of your effort that you put in will produce 80% of the result. Whereas 80% of your efforts produce 20% of the result. So what do you want to focus on? Of course, this. What 20% of the activities that I can do in my limited time that will produce me 80% of the results that I'm looking for? Okay, here's another one. 20% of your efforts give you 80% of your results. Using this rule allows you to focus on the most important things in life by prioritizing tasks. Okay, so that's what we're getting into now. See here, yoga pants, your closet, your choices. So this is the clothes thing I just mentioned. So basically, here's another one, applying 80-20 in business, 80-20 in life. You want to focus on strategy, these things here, these things here. So you can just pretty much Google 80-20 principle, click on images, and you can see many different things, even book recommendations that drive this point home. So basically what I'm getting at is this. You want to focus on the 20% of your activities that will produce 80% of results. So let's say you're a real estate investing, since I'm very familiar with that niche, since I'm one as well. And let's say that you're looking for deals, right? And there's many activities you can do to look for deals. You can drive for dollars. You can do a direct mail campaign. You can search throughout the internet for deals. You can reach out to agents and the wholesalers to find you a deal. So there's many different activities, but what you want to boil it down to is this. With my limited time available, what are 20% of those activities that would produce me 80% of the result? You might say, well, driving for dollars is very time consuming and I have to look at a lot of deals. Sure, it's cost effective since I'm just driving, but it's going to eat up a lot of my time. So maybe I should cross that out. Direct mail, well, I do have to spend a pretty penny to send out these yellow letters, but I do have to field a lot of calls and I have to see a lot of properties. So let me cross that out. Maybe working with agents might be the best bet since that's what they do full time. And I can just have a team of agents all looking for deals for me. Okay, so that's what you want to do first and foremost with your time. So let's say your time is limited. You want to prioritize the minority of tasks that will make the biggest impact, that will produce the greatest results. So that's the first thing, 80-20 principle. Now, the next thing is this. It's the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, this was made through one of our previous presidents, Dwight Eisenhower. I think that's right. But I don't think I was alive when he was the president. You know, I wasn't born yet. But I do value his thinking, his mindset. So I went on Google Images again to show you different visuals, right? So I had to create this from scratch. It's just me applying 80-20. If it already exists, why not just show you guys instead of me just trying to do a PowerPoint and do all this stuff myself? All right, so basically with the Eisenhower Matrix is this. It's breaking down activities into urgent and important, not urgent and not important. So let's look at one of these visuals here. So you see here, when things are important and urgent, you do it now. Now, these are the quadrant things that you don't want to be in. These are the fires, the emergencies. You know, if you had a fire in your place, you drop everything. You're not worried about submitting that report on time or exercising. No, you're trying to put this fire out, or you're trying to get it the heck out the house. It's important and it's urgent. You do it now. Now, things that are important but not urgent, well, we'll get into that next. So things that are urgent but not important, you delegate, right? So some things are urgent but not important, so you don't do them. Meaning you hire someone like a virtual assistant, let's say they're abroad outside the United States, and you can pay that person anywhere from $5 to $10 an hour. And they can do all the tasks that are urgent, such as answering phones or emails or screening deals, performing deal analysis and so forth. They can do all that stuff that you don't have to do, okay? Now, the things that are not urgent and not important, you delete it. You don't do it. Those are things such as social media. Those are things such as watching television. These are things that eat up your time that produce no value, no impact, okay? Now, let's talk about this quadrant since it relates to real estate investing and carving out the time for your goals, right? The not urgent but important tasks. These are the things we typically procrastinate on, such as exercise, for instance, right? Exercise is obviously is important. It has a huge impact on your health and well-being and your longevity, right? However, some people, being that it's not urgent, you know, you don't have to exercise today, right? Or you don't have to exercise first thing in the morning. So being that it's not necessarily urgent, most people put it off. It could be their faith, you know, faith is important, whether that's going to church or your temple or your place of worship. But most people think, well, it's not necessarily urgent for me to go this Sunday or this Saturday or whatever day you practice your worship or your faith. And they say, you know what, I can just put it off on the back burner. I'll do it some other time. So there's many different examples I can go into that are important but not urgent. It could be reading as well. Oh yeah, I do need to go to this networking event, or I do need to read this book about real estate investing, or I do need to meet with this person, but it's not urgent, so I'm gonna put it off. So what you want to do instead, based upon Eisenhower's decision matrix, you want to schedule a time to do it and do it. Now, how does it relate to the 80-20 principle? So first thing, you might have a lot of tasks. Let's say you have 10 tasks, right? And you want to focus on what are the 2 most important tasks that would give me 80% of my results. And so you want to focus on those 2 tasks. And then with those 2 tasks, based upon Eisenhower matrix, you want to then decide, okay, this is important. It might not be urgent. So let me schedule it in my calendar. And you want to schedule it first thing in the morning. So I do my most important task first thing in the morning without delay. First thing in the morning. Why? Because let's take exercise, for example, since that's important but not urgent. If I do it, let's say after the workday is done, I could be exhausted, or the workday might go longer than expected, and I might not have the energy or the time to exercise. So what happens? I put it off, right? And I don't get my workout in. So you don't want to be in that position. Same thing can go for reading. You know, you might be mentally exhausted, you had a long day at work, or you might have exercised, you might be physically exhausted as well. And then you say, well, I'm going to save reading or going through this course at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you're spent. You know, you're tired mentally and physically, to the point you just crash and go to sleep and don't read. So we don't want you to do these things with your goals. And that's what typically happens why most people aren't able to accomplish their goals. For one, they don't prioritize using the 80-20 principle. And for two, they don't schedule the time. So you can see here, there's many different examples here. They see schedule here, you know, it says decide here, it says schedule. So if you want additional, it says plan, you want to plan it, eliminate it, delete it, you know, those terms are synonymous. Don't do it, delay it, meaning schedule it, do later. So there's many different examples here of how you can know what you should be working on. Because oftentimes towards accomplishing your goals, you're probably working on activities that don't have an impact. And for two, you're working on activities that you really should delete, or you should delegate it, or you should do it now, or you should schedule it. So that's what you want to do. Figure out your 80-20 first, and then put that activity in one of these quadrants. Okay, because some tasks you could delegate, like deal analysis, you can delegate that to someone. Certain tasks like creating a list of agents to call or properties to call, you can delegate that. All right. Then the third thing, so after you prioritize through the 80-20 principle, and then use the Eisenhower matrix, you know, to decide how you should do things. Okay. Third thing is the Parkinson's Law. So what's the Parkinson's Law? Let's see here. Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Okay, so that's Parkinson's Law. So let me give you an example. Many of you guys might have went to school, right? Whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, college, you know, or post-college education, you know, graduate, whatever. So you're familiar with doing projects, right? Or writing a paper. If your teacher gave you a week to write a paper, guess what? You would take that whole week to write the paper. But let's say you forgot to write the paper, and it's now Thursday and the paper is due tomorrow. So unfortunately, even though you were given a week to complete the assignment, you know, you just you just forgot to do it. And then Thursday, let's say a classmate of yours said, hey, did you ready for that report tomorrow? And you're like, oh snap, I forgot I had to write this. Oh man, I'm saying report, paper, assignment, whatever it is, you get my drift. And you say, oh man, it's due tomorrow. Oh snap. Believe it or not, you would get that paper done within 24 hours, won't you? And believe it or not, you probably would get a B or A. Why? It's because of Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So whether you had a week to write that paper or a day to write that paper, you will more likely get the same result independent of the time frame that you were given. Now, why is this? Well, let's take a look at another image we have here. Here's another one. More time equals less effort needed. Less time equals more effort needed. So let's talk about your goals. So if you give yourself less time to accomplish your goals, it will require more effort, but you will still get the result you're looking for, meaning you'll still get the A or the B in regard to the quality of it. So let's take real estate investing. I know I'm using that a lot because most of my audience are real estate investors. So that's where I'm sharing these examples for. So let's say you did the 80-20 principle. You prioritize, let's say out of 10 tasks that you do, the top 2 that can relate to you closing a deal and getting cash flow, right? Passive income. So you prioritize it using the 80-20 principle. And then you use the Eisenhower Matrix to decide when you should do these tasks. Should I do it now? Should I do it first thing in the morning? Okay, great. And you want to always make sure you do it first thing in the morning before even your day begins. Before you go to the office, you have a 9 to 5, before you run errands, do it first thing in the morning with no exceptions, with no distractions. And that's what I'm doing now with this YouTube video. First thing in the morning, no distractions. Everyone in my household is asleep, right? But I'm able to get this done because it's important. Right? So I plan this out. I schedule it. So let's say you do that. You schedule your priorities. Then the next thing is once you have it scheduled, you want to give yourself a very short time to complete it. Meaning if you say, well, I'm going to call agents or I'm going to look for deals or what have you. So I'm going to give myself 2 hours to do this. Does it really need 2 hours to call lists? Or does it really need 2 hours to create a list of deals or agents or whatever your activity is, your 80-20 activities? Does it really take that much time? I challenge you as well as encourage you to give yourself less time to the completion of that task because it will require more effort, which will require more focus and concentration on your part. And it will also be even more impactful where your results are concerned. So that way, if you give yourself a tight window to complete the task, you won't be able to fall into that situation of, I don't have enough time to do things. In which, going back to this, bringing it full circle, you're thinking, oh, I'm running out of time. I don't have enough time to do all these things. And that's the reason why you don't have enough time to do all these things. It's because you're unfamiliar with these principles, with this matrix, and with these laws, okay? And if you want to search this stuff up, just Google it and go to images. Parkinsons Law, Eisenhower Matrix, 80-20. This stuff is available. It's online. All right. So I just want to share with you these tips. And I do have some video recommendations for you as well in regard to the mindset, especially if you're interested in real estate investing. So just check the link below in the description to learn more about that. It's another video recommendation. And also, if you're interested in learning more about real estate investing, so that way you can have cash flow, passive income, so you can have an abundance of time, right? Because that's what passive income affords. It provides you with the option to work, but not the obligation to work. So yes, you do all the time up front to acquire a property. And then once you acquire it, you spend little to no time managing and maintaining it, but it still produces passive income for you. And that's income received on a consistent basis with little to no work required. So that way you turn things on its head where you have an abundance of time and money as a result of acquiring assets and not trading your hours for dollars. So that's one of the main reasons why you might find yourself not accomplishing your goals. If you're a 9-to-5er, if you're an employee, it's simply because you're trading your hours for dollars. So being that you're trading your hours, that's why you have less time, because you're trading your hours. So stop trading your hours and instead buy assets and start trading your dollars for hours. And that's what I do. I trade my dollars for hours, meaning who can I find to accomplish this task? Going back to this Eisenhower Matrix, if I can find it, who can I delegate this task to? Because I'm trying to buy other people's hours instead of using my own. Because when I buy other people's hours, guess what? It saves me a bunch of time. So I'm trading dollars for hours. Sure, I'll pay you a few bucks for your hours. So that way I can have an abundance of time. All right, guys. So as always, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.